Yeah, I don't know why it went off, but I'm gonna read this. Second Esdras 15 and 16. This second part, man. Some reason that's the Satan, man. Some reason it went off. But Second Esdras 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition of men among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, Trump is considered a king, in a position of a king and power of a king. So they're not going to regard. And they didn't had all kind of movies, showing that about civil unrest. They had the Civil War movie. They had Olympus Fallen, where they took over the White House, and it was another. Uh, there was another one, man. I'm thinking about. It was Some Has Fallen. It was another similar movie to Olympus Has Fallen. But yeah, there's plenty of movies that they took over the White House, took over, and took the president hostage and all that. So, um, and they always stage these militia groups. You know, they always have these code names, ISIS. ICE, or all these. So this is, and a lot of times that's why they have on masks and all that. You know, cover their faces, because this is an inside operation, and it's one of their gimmicks. It's one of their you know deceitful tactics, man. And best believe they're going to use AI, and they're trying to perfect AI, and it's close to where a lot of people today say that they can't tell the difference between, you know, what's real or what's not. And that's what they want. This is the Matrix. We told you this is the Matrix a long time ago. We've been telling you that these things are gonna come about the time ago. Like, they got to hear from celebrities, like, to oh man, that's just deep, man. That shit. He said some profound stuff. They need to, they now pray for him, everything. But the prophet has been saying this long time ago, and not a peep from them, not a word from them, not a prayer for them, from them, for the prophets. So these people are done, man. These people are toasted, roasted, and about to be ghosted, and give up the ghost when the missiles hit, man. That's all we able to. That's the message we bring in, man. That these people are gonna get judged. America's gonna get judged. Presidents, kings, the nobles, and all those people are gonna be judged, man. No matter what stage and acts that they bring forth, they're gonna be judged. So hey, you know, that's what's really going on, man. Anyway, yeah. So he brought up the Insurrection Act. I'll read it again. 1807, Act of authorizing the employment of the land and naval forces of the United States in cases of insurrection. It's a U.S. federal law that empowers the President of the United States to nationally deploy the U.S. military and to federalize the National Guard units of the United individual states in specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil disorder, of insurrection, and of armed rebellion against the federal government of the United States. The Insurrection Act provides a statutory exception to the Posse Comitatus Act. If I'm pronouncing, it looks like that's what it is, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna just say Comitatus Act that limits the president deploying the United States military to enforce either civil law or criminal law within the United States. After invoking and before exercising the power authorized under the Insurrection Act, Title 10 USC 254 requires the publication of a presidential proclamation whereby the United States President formally orders the dispersion of the peoples committing civil unrest or armed rebellion. And they already had that on the night. They already had that footage of that. Signed into law by President Thomas Jefferson on March 3rd, 1807. So, these are the same devils. The Defense Department guidelines define Homeland Defense as a constitutional exception to the restrictions of the Posse Comitatus Act. There go that word, Comitatus. Therefore, the political, military, and police measures necessary to protect national security from external threats are exceptions to the restriction of the act. Internal, external, whatever. The act empowers the United President to call into service the United Armed Forces and the National Guard. So yeah, it really scared, but at the same time, Most High is giving them power, giving them the heart to exercise these things, and at the same time they're saying like this is domestic terrorism. This is, they say external, but it come from internal too, to where and they want to make it. They want to say external because they want to make it seem like the America's not divided. These, all our citizens are good. They're on one accord. That we're protecting them. But they know, and deep within they know American citizens are divided. You could be born here, and your children could be born here, and you still can hate America because you see all the bullshit. So they act like those that hate America is the ones that are impoverished, or they come from poverty, or they never been here and they come and they find out they something rubs them the wrong way, or they got something against politics or whatever, and they act like that's the reason. Nah, people been living here for ages, and and they've been realizing this stuff, that America's what it is. They've been believing that America, the government is faulty, false. But what's shown and publicized through their media, through their system, is that, oh yeah, America, everybody's getting along, and we only got two opposing sides, and even we can get along with those opposing sides, Democrat, Republicans. Yeah, we'll give everybody a chance. So you'll have Democrats in the office one term or two, whatever, and then you have Republicans there coming from the same White House, like we said, same bird, two feathers, the same bird, and and they'll have these people going right and left, up and down, whatever, trying to make a decision of those two fabricated suggestions, and then at the same time they be, well, damn, well, they did it. Republicans did a good job there, or Democrats did a good job there. Keep people confused, So that keep telling you, man, that this is, Most High is about to lift the skirt on these people, like He's doing now, and the government's gonna bear their own shame, man. Edom is gonna bear his own shame. Like, we don't have to do too much, man. Like I said, we're not the only. Well, as truth says, that's not even in the truth or talking about the truth, but in their own definition, their own way, they're blowing their whistle of truth against the government. So, like, Most High is breaking all that up inside the government, but yet the heat falls upon us. And now, slowly, gradually, they're publicizing us through media, through words, through government acts like this, and we see it, but the people like, nah, they ain't talking about y'all, man. Nah, we see it very clear. So here's another thing. I'm gonna read this and close out. The 807 Act replaced the earlier Calling Forth Act of 1792, which had allowed for federalization of state militias, with similar language that allowed either for the federalization of state militias or the use of the regular armed forces in the case of rebellion against the state government. The act did not provide a criminal penalty for insurrection, which was instead introduced by the Confiscation Act of 1862. So, yeah, it says down here, it says the Third Enforcement Act revised a section to protect Black Americans from attacks by the. See, look at that. The Third Enforcement Act. You think they're really trying to protect Black Americans from attacks by the Ku Klux Klan? Come on, man. The language added at that time allows the federal government to use the act to enforce the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. This section of act was invoked during the Reconstruction era, and like I said, the White House got black cabinets. They got black memberships, and they got black elite men too that they work with. So a lot of people are confused by that too. Like, damn, you know, they'll get in their feelings and say, well, Trump hates black people, and then they'll have a Secretary of State that's a black woman or something. They're like, he's not that bad, you know. Or they'll, Trump, I think out of his own mouth said he loves black people. So they done it, and two, remember when Trump was young and all these presidents and these people that come up in power and power seat, they went to college with some of these prestige colleges with other black people. They probably have black friends. You can go to them Jewish bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. I've been to them. I hosted a lot of them. Not hosted, it's like it, but I've been when I was doing security. And they always have a black friend. They always have a black, what do they call it, a token black person in there. So if black people see that, they're gonna be like, hey, he ain't so bad. He don't really hate black people. He's just, you know what I'm saying. I've seen him talk to black people. I've seen him, and Trump, he appeared on a lot of black people's television shows and music videos. Fresh Prince was one of them. Bobby Brown's "Make It on Our Own" video, he was in there. So and for them it's a love and hate relationship, even with our people and them. But for us, it's straight. You either hate them or love them. And the Most High did not say that He hates Esau and love him sometimes. He said He hated Esau and He loved Jacob. So there's, like I said in the previous video, you can't have two. You can't have both, man. Anyway, hope you guys had fun. Until the next video. Shalom.